Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath Swami, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagame, Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagame, Nayana Patagame Bhavatu me, Nayana Patagame Bhavatu me, Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Radhe, Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Radhe, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivacharya Astotara Shri Srimadi's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivacharya Astotara Shri Srimadi's Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Iskcon BBD Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mathura Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Shri Kshetra Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulasi Maharani Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Yoga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Ki Transcendental Brayat Brandaga Book Distribution Ki Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai Ki Jai Ratha Yatra Ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Now, due to the weather, we will start the cart or the Ratha Yatra at 7. So, in the meantime, we'll do a short talk here. You can stay here and feel cool or go out and sweat it out. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All right, we would like to request all of you to be seated. We are going to be having a class now on Jagannath Radha Yatra, on the celebration, on what is the significance of the Jagannath Radha Yatra celebration. And we are not ready yet for the Radha Yatra yet. We are still getting the chariots ready, and it will take another 1 hour. We are going to be starting officially at 7 p.m. So after the class, we will have some announcements, and then we will go in a procession to the chariots, and then we will start the Radha Yatra from there. So please be patient and please be seated, and His Grace Radha Krishna Prabhu will be narrating the Radha Yatra pastimes and significance. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. And also the prasadam will not be served until the chariots come back. So there is no rush to the Gauranga hall.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, sit down here and cool off, right? I think it's nicer in here. You can see the deities. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. 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 Jagannatha Swamina Yanapatagami Nayanapatagami Bhavatu me. Jagannatha Swamina Yanapatagami Nayanapatagami Bhavatu me. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada. Gaura Premanandi. Hare Krishna. So I'm going to look at some notes I have about this wonderful festival. We can talk a little bit about them till we are ready to go and actually pull the cart. In the meantime, just sit nicely. There's plenty of space in the front if you want to move closer, or you can move back and get out the door. Just come closer. You're not going to lose anything. We have vegetarians here. Right? Thank you very much for all of you for coming today. It's one of those days, right, in Houston. You really get really cold, blistering cold weathers sometimes, or you get horrible and hot weather. Pretty much the whole summer is horrible and hot for me, but today is particularly hot, no? It's really hot. Just walking from my place to here, I was just thinking, how is that possible people can live in this kind of situation, right? So thanks to technology, we can have air conditioning place, and we try to survive. Right, so this wonderful pastime took place in a previous age. But I think last week Nayanamrita Prabhu touched on it, so I was thinking I'm not going to touch on that so much, but rather I'll give you another perspective of this reason behind why this pastime or the cart festival took place. And a very beautiful story is been told by His Holiness Govinda Maharaj. He is from Orissa, and so he knows so many pastimes. Unfortunately, he left this world in 95 or 96. Yeah. But he said this story which I'll tell you all, and you can see how beautiful this pastime is. This particular pastime is been told by the Goswamis, but it's not very popular because mainstream stories are different, and there are many different aspects of this Jagannath pastime, and we have heard some more than the others. Okay, so it is a very confidential pastime, or we can say it is confidential because it is about Lord Krishna and his eternal consort Srimati Radharani. If you look at the center altar, you see our deities. The one on the left, he is Krishna, and on his left is Srimati Radharani, his consort. So they are always deeply, exquisitely in love. We cannot describe how sweet their love is, but they are so much in love, and whenever they just turn around, they feel that they are lost. They're thinking, where is my beloved? And then they faint sometimes. So Krishna is like that. He's always in this state of feeling acute pangs of separation. Sometimes even in waking condition, all of a sudden he thinks of Srimati Radharani, and then he goes, Radhe, 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 and then he faints. But we don't faint for our beloved. Most of us. We hope our beloved faints sometime. So once in Dwaraka, Krishna was deeply thinking of Radharani. Now, his consort Radharani is in Vrindavan. So, but he became a king and he moved out of the village. And so he's always thinking about his beloved. He's thinking, oh Radha, oh, I miss you. I've taken up this position. I've taken up being a monarch, a king. So I miss you. So once he's thinking like that and he's going, oh Radha, oh Radhe, Radhe. He's thinking like that, and all of a sudden he falls down. He faints completely and he's unconscious. And so Providence has it that both Narada Muni and Uddhava, they come in at that time. So they came and then they saw Krishna on the ground, and they rushed to him, and then they were trying to wake him up, and then they were worried. But he was murmuring, Krishna was murmuring, Radhe, 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 oh Radhe. But they couldn't wake him up. So then they said, oh my God, he's in deep, state of separation, and it means trouble for all of us. We have to get him up. They could understand this condition is due to his intense separation from Srimati Radharani. So they became very much in anxiety, so much anxiety. They didn't know what to do. As they were thinking like that, Narada suggested that maybe when he wakes up, then we can, sing to him about or rather, Narada suggested that or Uddhava suggested, maybe you can sing about the Supreme Lord, Narada Muni Bhajaya Vine Radhika Ramana Name. So if you sing that song, he will wake up. So then Narada was thinking and he said, that's a good idea. But I have a worry. if he wakes up and then if he hears Radharani's name, you know what will happen? He's just going to run. He's just going to run madly. He's a madman. Whenever he hears his beloved, he becomes mad. Crazy mad. So much affection he has for her that he'll run. He'll leave everything and run, and we can't allow that. So then they said, what should we do? I think we better ask Daruka. You know who Daruka is? He's the charioteer. So let's let Daruka, the charioteer, set up the chariot. So he won't run, at least he'll get on the chariot, and then we can take him to Vrindavan or Brajabhumi, like that. So then they all agreed and say, yeah, that's a good idea. But then Uddhava was thinking, he said, you know, you're right, but I have a fear. I'm so worried. I said, what is the problem? You know, the people there in Vraja, in Vrindavan, Krishna left many, many years ago. So they are in separation of Krishna, all of them, all the citizens. And they are crying piteously. Every day they are crying. And they are crying, oh Krishna, where are you, Krishna? Why did you leave us, Krishna? Why? Oh Krishna, oh Krishna, where are you? So they are crying. And Uddhava said they were crying 24 hours a day. They're not even sleeping. And they're missing so much. And so, if Krishna goes there and he sees all of them crying like that, we will never get him back. He said, so what to do? There's no hope. Then they were thinking, no. At that time, I think Balaram was going to come. No, before that, Uddhava was saying, I can't go also because when Krishna sent me, many years ago, I went there and I spent 3 months trying to console them because Krishna was in Vrindavan, and then at a certain time he had to leave because his uncle, you know his uncle, Kamsa, invited him back to the Mathura. So when he left the cowherd men, the ladies and all. So they were in so much separation. So then when Krishna became the king, then he sent Uddhava. And he said, Uddhava, you take care of them. Tell them I'll be coming, but console them. So Uddhava came and he tried to console them. But then he said, I couldn't console them. I could not. They were always crying. They were missing him so much that eventually I was thinking, yes, Krishna should come back. And I agreed with them. I felt exactly like that, that Krishna should come back. And so I could not console them. I was defeated by their love for Krishna. But I promised them I will send Krishna to Vrindavan. And then, but it has been so many months and now it's gone into years. So many years. At this moment, Krishna is already married. He has married 16,108 queens. This has been going on for so many years and still he is feeling separation from Radharani. So then Uddhava was saying, how can I go back? I can't go. I can't go to Vrindavan because I promised them years ago and I did not deliver. Many times I told Krishna and Krishna said, yes, yes, yes. But he never went back to Vrindavan. And so if I go back, they will look at me and they'll call me a liar. Uddhava, you're a liar. You're a cheater. How can I face them? Oh, Narada, I cannot go. I cannot go. So then, at that time, Balaram walks in. And so he also sees the situation and he understands the whole situation also. And so they ask him, maybe Balaram, you should go. You should go and tell them that Krishna is coming. And you can tell the Brajavasis like that. Because they know as soon as Krishna wakes up from the singing of Narada, he will run, he will drive the chariot all the way to Vrindavan. So they want the Brajavasis to get ready for Krishna. So they were thinking, and so Balaram was saying, yes, I could go, Narada, I could go, but I have something to tell you. I too went like Uddhava, and I spent 2 months in Vrindavan. I too spoke to them that Krishna will come. Then I saw my mother, Mata, how are you? And she was crying in separation for Krishna. So then I told her, I will bring back Krishna. I will tell Krishna to come back. So when I came back, I asked Krishna, please go. They are dying. Please don't let them die. Please. And Krishna said, yes, yes, yes. But he never went. And I promised Mother Yashoda. And how can I go now? If she sees me, she'll say, Balaram, I don't trust you anymore. Even if I tell her Krishna is coming, say, I will never trust you, Balaram. You're a liar. And everyone there will say, I'm a liar. How can I go? Another dilemma. So many problems. So while they were thinking like that, guess who came in? Subhadra. So she said, I will go. I have no problems. I will go there. I will sit on Mother Yashoda's lap. I will wipe away her tears and I will tell her, Mother, we were all coming together. And then along the way, the kings and all his well-wishers, the saintly people, they are stopping and they wanted to see Krishna. So I came first. So then she will believe me. And then I will go and tell all the gopis that, Krishna, he's a man, he doesn't understand us, we are women, but we know. So she will also understand me. All the gopis will understand. And they will all wait for Krishna. So then they said, oh, that's a good plan. So how would you go? So then they said, well, we already have a cart, Garuka. No, we need another cart for Subhadra. So then they got another chariot for Subhadra. And then Subhadra said, okay, I'll be going. So at that time, Balaram said, well, if Subhadra is going and Krishna is also going to go, I should go so that I can keep my brother company. So then Narada said, okay, you can go also. Uddhava and Narada, they said, yes, you should go. So they set up another cart. So there are now 3 carts. So Balaram and Subhadra, they went ahead. And they went, and that is why you'll see, you can see that, that's in Jagannath Puri. So the first cart that goes out from the temple is Balaram's cart. And then the second cart is Subhadra's cart. And then the last cart is Jagannath. So they went ahead. So Balaram was riding very quickly to Vrindavan, and then next Subhadra's cart is coming behind. But in the meantime, Uddhava and Narada decided, okay, we can now start the kirtan. And then so as they started, and they started chanting Radha's name, Krishna opened his eyes. And then immediately he stands in his threefold bending form, that is Tribhanga Lalita, Shama Sundara Lalitam. That's the most beautiful pose that he takes. In Dwaraka, he is like a king. So he doesn't behave like that. He doesn't, stand in this kind of poses. He is standing really, monarch, a king, regal, like that. It's like, yeah, man, what's up? So, but over here, you can see he's in a playful mood. Krishna is in a playful mood. So when he stood up, and he looked around and said, where's my flute? So then both Uddhava and Narada informed him that you are in Dwaraka and that you need to go. to Vrindavan. So he was so excited. So he ran to his chariot, and then the chariot started coming. Of course, in the meantime, back in Vrindavan, or just before he gets onto cart, it is said that he is very, he behaves in a very drunken way, Krishna. Because he's intoxicated by his love for Radharani. He's thinking so much. So when he gets up, he stumbles and falls. So this is also part of the pastime in, well, not here, in Jagannath Puri. When they bring Jagannath out, Jagannath is around 12 foot high actually. He's about maybe almost as wide as these two pillars. It's pretty big. And so to bring him out, they have to shift him this way and that way. So actually he's walking like he's drunk. So it is so exciting over there. In 2019, I think it was July 4th, you can check. That was when Ratha Yatra was in Jagannath Puri, and I was there with a few of my god brothers, and it was fantastic. It's so beautiful and so exciting, and we were so fortunate because the storm clouds came, and there was a cool breeze, and it was so wonderful. It didn't rain. It rained later on, but it didn't rain during that time, and it was so amazing. Balaram's cart came. It was so huge. People were pushing, and we were running. It was so scary. 100,000 people or more, and they were all running and pulling the strings or ropes, and they were pushing. As we all moved aside for the cart to go, people start coming, and we were stuck on the fence, and then we thought we were all going to die. So many people were pushing and squeezing. We were so scared. Then Balaram's cart came right in front of us and stopped. And we could see, and he was looking, and we were just chanting Balaram. Either you take us or you help us. So we were really squeezed against the walls as people were squeezing. Little kids were crying and so on. Around the cart in those days, not in 2019, but previous to that, anyone can go near the cart. They can touch the carts and so on. But from 2018 or 2019, they have so many policemen now, and they have big bamboo sticks. And if you come close, they beat you like anything, So if you go next time, be careful, don't get too close. They just hit you, because many people like to die in front of the Lord. So they run and they dive under the wheels to give up their body. It is said that if you see Jagannath in his cart, you get liberated, you go back to Godhead. If you pull the ropes, you get all auspiciousness, your sin, everything will be taken away. So you get the opportunity after that, so don't hesitate to do anything. His Holiness Giriraj Swami was saying, one time he was in a Ratha Yatra, and then he was pulling, and then he saw a father trying to coax his son. His son was maybe 6 or 7 years old. He was telling him, please, pull the string, pull the rope. The boy is like, no, he was fighting with his father. And then the Maharaj was thinking, he's losing the opportunity to get blessings from the Supreme Lord. And then the father was saying, please, pull. And the boy was, no. And then he started to clench his fist. No, I will not. I will not do this. I'm not going to do that. So Maharaj was thinking, well, some people get the good fortune. I hope this boy gets the good fortune. And then while he was looking around, he looked back again, and the boy was now pulling. So he was thinking, how fortunate, how fortunate, because pulling the rope is also service, right? Like not all of you can go on the altar because you need to be initiated, you need to be Brahmana, then we can go and do the service on the altar. You can't just do service. You are all here, you came to look at Krishna. Today, Krishna comes as Lord Jagannath to look at all of us out there. So that is the beauty of Lord Jagannath. He comes to give this darshan or his audience to all of us with so much love and affection. He's coming out because he loves us, not otherwise. We may not love him, but he always loves us. He knows what is good for us. We don't know what is good for us. So he comes out. So take this opportunity. It may be hard, but if you just take to please him, and that will help you so much. Right, so then at Vrindavan, at that time, Radharani's condition was getting worse because she is at the point of death. She's been so much in separation of Krishna that she cannot stand anymore. She wants to give up her body. She wants to die. And this actually, from external point of view, it appears like an ordinary person who's sick, but actually this is one of the highest stages of love for Krishna. This is Mahabhava exhibition. It's called Mahabhava. And so she was giving up her life. She was thinking of Krishna, and they went to this particular place. I'm trying to see the name of this place. Niduvana. Niduvana is a very special place where Radha and Krishna intimately associate. No one else allowed there. Only Radha and Krishna with the manjaris who come and serve them in that very special place. But she went there thinking about Krishna and thinking, I will give up my body here since my beloved Krishna is not here. So she was lying down on the lap of her best friend, Lalita Shaki. And Lalita was stroking her hair as she was, breathing in great difficulty. Slowly and slowly her breath is going. And she's about to die. So at that moment, Krishna's chariot comes to Braja. It comes rushing through, just like, in one of those NASCAR 400 or whatever, they're speeding. So Krishna's chariot comes rushing through and crashes through the gate. And Krishna jumps down and then he falls and he rolls. He's thinking, Radha, Radha. And at that moment, as he's thinking, his hands go into his body. His eyes dilate because he's thinking, my beloved Radharani. It goes so big. When you see Jagannath, you'll see that's how Krishna became. His hands and his leg, everything, and he couldn't walk, and so he fell down. And Radharani is in front, in the arms of Lalita, and then he's looking with his big, round lotus eyes, and he's blinking at her. He's thinking, oh, my beloved Radha. And at that moment, a breeze blows. And then it blows from him and goes to Radharani. Now Krishna is a very fragrant person. He is the Supreme Lord. It's not like you and I, we have B.O., but his is not, Krishna's fragrance is, you cannot imagine. So as soon as that fragrance reached Radharani, she got up. She became alive. She's like, where's Krishna? So much love. Simply his fragrance awakened her. At the same time, just like Krishna has his hand all shrunken in the same way when both Balaram and Subhadra also were coming, they also felt so much. They were thinking, Balaram was thinking, oh, Krishna loves Radha so much love he has. And in thinking like that, he also exhibited ecstatic symptoms. And he also, his arms shrank, his legs shrank, and his eyes also dilated. And he was stuck in his chariot. He couldn't do anything. And same with Subhadra also. And so later on, Krishna, when he recovers, the way he recovers is when Srimati Radharani recovers from the fragrance of Krishna, she tells Lalita, please go and chant to Krishna, awaken him up, So she goes and she chants Radha, Radha, Radha to Krishna, and then he awakens, and then he becomes normal. His hands all comes out, his eyes goes, and he looks at just as beautiful. And then in a sweet voice, he tells Krishna, oh Radha, where is the separation? Where is the separation? There is no separation from you. I cannot be separated from you. Your love for me is so deep, like ocean. And in order to reach such an ocean, I have assumed this form, Jagannath form. This very special form I have assumed. Then he tells her that later on I will appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in Jagannath Puri, Nilachala, I will come in your mood and dance in front of Jagannath. So it's the same thing, just as Krishna ran to Radharani, so later on Krishna takes the mood of Radharani and runs to Jagannath. So that's a beautiful pastime that is. There's another pastime also in which the queens of Dwaraka, they heard so much about Krishna and his pastimes in Vrindavan, his beautiful childhood pastimes with all the residents of Vrindavan. Oh, it is so wonderful. Do you all know the pastimes? Have you read the pastimes? If you have not, then you should get the Krishna book. Just go to a gift store and get the book. You read it. It is so beautiful, especially his childhood pastimes. So the queens, they were so excited, and so they said, they want to know, and they were saying, who will tell us this pastime? So they talked among themselves, and finally they said, only Mother Rohini. She knows all his baby pastimes. Yeah? She has been in Mathura, and she has been in Vrindavan, and she's also here in Dwaraka. So she knows everything. So they invited her, and then she said, yes, I will tell the pastimes. I will tell everything about Krishna's baby pastime, but I have an issue. If Krishna and Balaram, they hear it, that's it. They are going to swoon, and they'll fall, and they will roll, and they'll cry in ecstasy. And so they agreed, okay, we will all gather together and we'll make sure there's a guard. Okay? And so they agreed, okay, but who will be the guard? So then guess who volunteered? Subhadra! Jai Subhadra! So then she said she'll guard. She said, no problem, I'll take care. When my brothers come, I'll kick them out. So she closed the door and she stood, watching with intensity. Who's there? Get out. So then Rohini started relating all the wonderful baby pastimes to Krishna, one after another. The queens were saying, oh, so wonderful, so exciting, so ecstatic. So Subhadra is listening, and she's saying, wow, that's so nice, so cool, I want to hear too. So she cranks open the door a little bit, and so she can hear. And she's like, oh wow, so this is so nice. Krishna's pastime is so wonderful. And she goes into this ecstasy, just listening to his pastime. And then guess what? She goes into this transcendental Mahabhav Prakash. So she pulls her hand all into her body and her eyes become big and it's in so much ecstasy. And when you are in ecstasy, can you do your service? Not quite. So she couldn't do her guard duties. And guess who comes along? Krishna and Balaram. They're walking, they say, "Hey, Subhadra, what's wrong?" She's going, "Subhadra, what's wrong?" And then they say, "Hey, listen, they're talking about us." So both Krishna and Balaram, they lean and then they listen. And as soon as they heard their own pastime, they too went into ecstasy. And then they displayed this beautiful form, Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. And then when they saw what's happening in the door, the queen said, "Hey, look what's happening, look at this." And then they were all excited, and so Rohini stopped and said, "I better stop, otherwise this is going to go even worse." So when she stopped, both Krishna, Balaram as well as Subhadra, they started recovering. And then they, "Oh, what happened?" And they started straightening out their the dhotis, everything. No, nothing happened, nothing, the crown, everything. And then guess who saw them? Narada Muni. You know, he keeps always coming to Dwaraka. He loves to see Krishna. So he said, no, you're not getting away with this. I saw it. And they say, "What did you see?" "No, I saw it, and you know I saw it." "Oh Lord, this is such a beautiful form. You know, somehow you must show this to all your devotees, you know." So he begs and begs and begs, and then finally Krishna says, "Yes, I will come. I will come." And he says, "I'll come to please my wonderful devotee, Maharaj Indradumna. I'll come as the logs, 3 logs." And so you had the pastime last week, how the logs were carved. In some places it is described that Vishwakarma himself came to carve the deities, and others say it was Krishna himself, but in the Puranas mostly it says Vishwakarma. So he carves the deities. So just like both Balaram and Subhadra, when they went to Vrindavan and said, "He's coming. So in year 2000 in Toronto, they had this Ratha Yatra, and so their whole poster was, "He's coming." And I looked at it, first time I said, "Who's coming?" Then they had Jagannath's face there. So in the same way, today you will see Krishna, Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. They will be going, and they will be moving in their nice, beautiful chariot. There was this tree that was growing in our courtyard. I'm not sure if you all recognized that it was cut last year, because on 2 subsequent years, the weather was so cold, so horribly cold. And so the tree gave up its life. It had been serving in this dam for so long, and it said, "Hey Krishna, hey Govinda, I have to go." So it gave up its life. And when it gave up its life, the devotees decided that, especially Papa Hari, that we can make Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. So this huge trunks, they cut it in 3 pieces, and then he carved it with a couple of helpers, and that's how Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra manifested here in Houston, Texas. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So thank you so much for giving your attention today. I'm so humbled by your enthusiasm and your determination, and I can see some of you are so happy. That's the way it should be. So when you're out there, go for it. Right? Hare Krishna.
Haribol! Thank you, His Grace Radha Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Thank you so much for your patience, and Hare Krishna and Jai Jagannath. So today, as Radha Krishna Prabhu mentioned, we are celebrating Jagannath Radha Yatra celebration. So now the program will be, we will be going in procession to the chariots which are parked on the back side of the Gauranga Hall. So we'll have Kirtan going there, and then we will perform Arati to start the Radha Yatra, and then we will be pulling the chariots through the 34th and Half Street, and then we'll go all the way to Goswami Academy, and we'll return back. So it's about 45 minutes to an hour, Radha Yatra. And so everybody will get opportunity to pull the chariots of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. So just be patient and take your opportunity and get the mercy of the Lordships. And we also have some sponsorships for today's festival. Following devotees have sponsored today's festival: Harivallabh Prabhu and Rangamani Pokala, Arun and Vinny Verma, Kshitij and Siza Kapoor family, Chaitanya Prabhu and Draupadi Mataji, Raghava and Vijay Srinivasan and family, Raghava Chaitanya Prabhu and Sridevi Mataji, and Amalanam Prabhu and Archana Mataji, and Purvi and Vijay Parmar and family, and Somita Pant, Dhruva, Ash, and Somita and Dravina. These families sponsored. Today's sponsorship for the festival is $351. If anybody else is interested, this is your opportunity to sponsor the festival. And also after the Radha Yatra, when the Radha Yatra comes back, there will be opportunity for devotees to perform Arati for the deities on the chariots. There is a table that is set up in the back of the Gauranga Hall, and you will see where the chariots are lined up, and you can sponsor for $51 Arati tray with the flowers, fruits, and also some Jagannath Kaja that you can offer to the Jagannath Baladev Subhadra deities, and then you can take that tray with you to home as a souvenir and Mahaprasad. So now we will be heading to the chariots with the Kirtan. Do we have the Kirtan group here? Haribo? Okay. So we have Ramdas Prabhu, and will be leading us to the chariots. Hare Krishna.